So this is what we're looking at from Gypsy today. She thinks half the people in her comments need Jesus and an exorcism. I think she's actually speaking on herself. And, it's just blowing my mind that we're seeing in all these comments, even on this video she did today, we're seeing in her comments these people telling her it's no big deal what she did with the blankets. We've all lost our cool from time to time. It's okay. And this woman has done this to her man. This one has done this. People who are trying to normalize this whole blanket thing, obviously have a severe problem themselves. It is not normal to get to the point of screaming and throwing a tantrum like you're a toddler and destroying someone's property. I mean, she can use the argument that this was her blanket, but she gave this to Ken. She had this made in prison for Ken. So this was his property. Even if it was her property, that is abuse. You can challenge me on that all you want. She did this in a threatening manner. This was meant to frighten him. I don't care what anybody says. And there is absolutely nothing normal about this whatsoever. So where are all these women coming from that are trying to normalize this? This is ridiculous. And she thinks, she wants to act as if are we going back to the Christian era here, Gypsy? Is that what we're doing here? An exorcism, and they need Jesus, huh? I can only, the person I'm looking at on this here green screen as I'm filming this is the only one I see that needs Jesus in an exorcism. I mean, it was quite evident that you were possessed by a demon when you were shredding this blanket, and probably when you did in your mother, because I'm quite convinced, in my opinion, that she put the 13 wounds on Dee Dee, and Nick did the last 4. That's my thoughts. And I will stand 10 toes down saying that. I believe that Dee Dee was already gone by the time that Nick got there. I believe Gypsy 100% did her mother by herself. She only wanted Nick to think he was doing it because I believe she probably had the intention to take out Nick, and she was going to say he was trying to harm her, and she had to do him in self-defense because she really thought that she was going to get away with this. That's my thoughts on that. I'm going to go into deeper in my thoughts on that. And y'all can attack me all you want for it, whatever. It ain't all that to me. I don't read half the comments you put anyways. So, Ken's sister has made another video, and apparently now Gypsy has released some text messages where Ken's sister had told her that she had held it, to her ex-boyfriend's neck. But the thing is, she had caught that this man had smoked with her 14-year-old sister. And Ken's sister, Autumn, she was trafficked. She has a history. She has some severe trauma in her past. So she was going to be damned if she was going to allow her 14-year-old sister to be victimized. She was doing this in defense of her sister. Gypsy was never harmed by her mother. She was not defending herself. It's not even comparable here. There's nothing to even compare. And then just like Gypsy was asked somewhere, I'll have to find it. Mackenzie Shirella in Ohio, we all know the case. They're trying to pass a law. It'll be like an updated Son of Sam type law. Dom and Davion's law, I believe. Or Dom's law, Dom and Davion. I don't know, something like that. But anyways, the whole purpose to this law is that people cannot profit from their crime. So like if Mackenzie Shirella ever gets out of prison, she's not going to be able to come out and pull a Gypsy Rose, write books about this crime, make money off it, get on social media and try to be an influencer like Gypsy fashions herself to be, and make money off that, and get television shows and make money off that. No. So they asked Gypsy how she feels about this law, right? And she says, well, it's a double-edged sword, basically. And You know, in this case, in Mackenzie Shrilla's case, she doesn't think that she should be able to profit off of this. Because, you know, she wasn't a victim. There wasn't, you know, if someone commits their crime, like in self-defense, and they're actually a victim, you know, such as Gypsy was a victim in her mind, then yes, they should have a right to tell their story and apparently profit off of it. So Gypsy thinks, you know, that anybody can do anything and say, oh, I'm a victim, and then they can profit off their crime. Just like she tells a story about, she had a friend in prison who took out her, I don't know, husband, boyfriend, whatever she said. And it was a result of a DV situation. But the woman didn't even get charged for a year later. If it was self-defense, most people, if they commit a crime in self-defense and have to take someone out in self-defense, usually they're the first one to call the police because they're so upset and they're, oh my gosh, I just did this because they were going to, you know, harm me. They don't try to hide it for a year. But, you know, of course, Gypsy's going to buy into that story because, you know, she's a victim. She's always going to be a victim in her mind. She was not a victim. Anybody with 2 brain cells can look at these FOIAs, can look at the medical records. I can only hope that one day Gypsy will actually tell the truth. Because in reality, Dee Dee was the only person that loved Gypsy unconditionally. The only person that's ever going to love her unconditionally. And we see how Gypsy treated her. Now we see how Gypsy's treating Ken, somebody who apparently loves her. And here's another kicker. You notice the blanket video, Parker, the dog, is in the background. And he's sitting there calm as can be. Calm as can be. Anytime someone's freaking out like that, usually a dog's going to be nervous and they're going to get up out of there. They don't know what's going on. They're scared. They're nervous. Or they're going to come to you. They pick up on emotions. But Parker sitting there calm like that, that tells me that that's the norm in that household. He's used to seeing this. It didn't frighten him. He wasn't worried in the least. Don't tell me this was the first time anything like this happened. I'm sure it's happened quite a few times since. And then Gypsy wants to keep claiming that she gave Ken's sister money. And Ken, I believe Autumn. Because Gypsy is not going to give anybody money unless there's something in it for her. Like the whole Spirit Airlines thing. You know, she had to notify TMZ that she made this donation. And, you know, when she donated to the lady, she had to make sure to tell the lady, I have 9.3 million followers. She only donated for public recognition. Look at me, I'm a good person. I donated $500 to a stranger. Look at me. I'm such a good person. Get out of here, Gypsy.